Welcome back to Wealthy Mentor Trading, guys. Today's September the 18th, 2022, and today I'm going to be discussing 4 blue chip stocks ready to bounce higher this week. I'm also going to be looking at the S&P 500, where we left off last week, and my targets going into the week ahead. But before we get started, guys, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to the channel as we do release videos every Sunday on the market. And if you are interested in trading with us on our Discord channel, Wealthy Mentor Trading, we do have a summer $97 2-month promo. Link is in the description. It entails everything that we speak about today. If you're a day trader, options trader, swing trader, someone that is willing to learn how the markets work and prep every morning, this is for you. The link is in the description for that. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram page, Wealthy Mentor Trading. We do have information there as well. With that being said, as I did mention, the S&P 500, and it was another bearish week, guys. This is stemming back from the rejection at 4,300. We had a push up all the way to 4,100, another rejection, as you guys can see here. Then we had that Fed decision a couple of weeks ago, and it spooked the market with regards to inflation moving higher again. And here we are, unable to hold that major line at 3,900. And to me, and if you guys are part of the group at Wealthy Mentor Trading, I did instruct students that 3,900 was that area where I turned bearish on the markets once again. Overall, I was bearish altogether, just because we are in a downtrend. However, I was holding on hope for that 3,900 area to hold, and unfortunately, that broke loose last week, and we are going to head lower, guys. 3,900 to me is confirmation that we are going to test that 3,650 area, which was the bottom. There's a higher probability just because we broke that 3,900 trend line. And this week, I am looking at a continued move lower towards 3,800, 3,820, as you guys can see here. And if you look at the candlestick right here on the daily chart, the bulls bought up the dip at that 3,850 area. We did consolidate for a bit, and then we closed at the very top, near the top, I would say, still under 3,900. So I am still bearish, looking for a continued move lower. Now to the bull side, what do I want to see? It's very simple, guys. I want to see a move above 3,900 and a weekly close above 3,900. Now, if I were to switch here to the weekly chart, it would give you guys a clear picture to see exactly where we're at, right? So obviously, the $4,300 rejection. We tried to get up back to 4,100. Got another rejection here on the weekly candle and another rejection here on the weekly candle, essentially pushing us all the way to that 3,800 area. Again, guys, all signs point to a move lower, and we do have Fed Powell speaking on Wednesday, so be sure to understand that the markets may trend sideways till he releases his talk or whatever he's going to say with regards to inflation. The markets do tend to be on a standstill, hovering sideways. So I am still expecting a week where we might trend sideways between 3,900 and 3,800 again, until there's some positive news. If there is, I am looking for a move, like I said, above 3,900 and a weekly close above this line right here. So be sure to watch the markets for continued move lower unless Fed Powell says something bullish, and that could propel the markets a little higher. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, guys, it is a bearish trend. Obviously we have a top here, all-time high is at 48, dropping down to 36. This is the next big swing right here. And, the rejection point, I was looking at that 4,300 to change that trend. We did not get that. We dropped down to 3,900, held it for a couple of weeks, and last week was that final sword right through the heart, right? Breaking below 3,900, and there's a high probability that we drop down to test these lows at 3,650. So definitely keep your eyes on the market at that $3,900 line, see if we can make it over, and be sure to catch Fed Powell's comments on Wednesday as well. All right. And as I did mention at the start of the stream, I am looking at 4 stocks ready to bounce higher, right? These are all blue chip stocks, names like Nvidia, Shopify, Adobe, and Google. And the first one on my list is Nvidia, NVDA. And Nvidia is at a point basically where we're at that critical area of that 127 to 130 line. If you guys caught my stream from a few weeks back, you did know that we are at area where it is a buy zone, right? It's a buy zone for the bulls as we did consolidate here from August 2020 all the way to the breakout area in May 2021 when we got this bullish action. Here we are once again testing this consolidation zone. And to me, that 127 is that line in the sand. We do have that 116 area where we did get 2 wicks here where bull stepped in and that was it pretty much. So this is a great buying opportunity. In terms of fundamentals, Nvidia kicks off its fall GTC event on Monday and Tuesday. So pretty much last year at this event, Nvidia unveiled a new chip. So analysts are expecting the same type of thing this year with the release of another generational chip architecture code from Nvidia. So that is some bullish momentum that could definitely push Nvidia higher. Personally, I am looking at that 130 to 127 area as a buy zone. I did purchase some shares of this. I did let our students know at Wealthy Mentor Trading where my entry was on this Nvidia swing trade that I'm looking for, right? So pretty much I am looking for that 127 to 130 to hold for a push to retest this area of 147 and 154. So those are my bullish targets going into this week. My entry, to be on a safe side, would be that 140 area. It is above this consolidation zone right here. So to have something on the safer side, look above 140 for targets of 147 and 154, especially with their news events. Now, these news events are a lot more bullish when the market's trending higher and the market isn't trending higher. So your first clue would be essentially to look at the market conditions and also judge by the news event as well. So the market conditions have the last laugh. So if we are trending lower on the market and the S&P 500 is tanking, don't expect Nvidia to pop above everything else and pretty much ignore the market conditions. That's just not going to happen, guys. So be sure to always look at the S&P 500 as your compass and then trade smaller names like this within the S&P 500 and within the semiconductor sector, which should be your other area that you should be looking at before entering a trade or exiting a trade on Nvidia. So definitely watch 127. If there's a break below that, we do have that 116 line in the sand, buyers step in type deal. And we have that 140 area. If we do get that news event and it's bullish, we have these two targets of 147 and 154. Keep your eyes on this names, guys. Next name is Shopify. SHOP. And Shopify is pretty much at a dead zone right here, right? Consolidating at this critical support line at that $29 line, which was a bounce area back on March 2020. It was the COVID lows. Of course, this is adjusted to the stock split, so the numbers are a little different, but overall, we are trending at that area where we got the COVID lows. And overall, from a fundamental standpoint, Shopify plans to slash 1,000 workers or 10% of its global workforce, uh, marking a retreat from its pandemic bet on e-commerce growth, right? So they don't necessarily feel that they are growing in terms of, you know, what they thought they would when the pandemic hit. They are slashing workforce. You know, they're not as bullish as what they thought they would be, and it's just not there, right? So for me as a trader, I don't care about any of that. I look at the charts. I'm an analyst, so I know that $29 is a major area where bulls did step in last time and push this price higher. We are at that area again, guys. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at that area of $29 to hold to pretty much hit my targets of 36 and 45. Now, 36 is the highs for the month, so I am looking for a retest of that. So that would be my first take profit target on the bounce of $29. And my second take profit target would be 45 based on this consolidation area where we haven't been able to break ever since that drop in April, right? This was the drop in April, consolidating here, got a rejection at 45, and now we are slushing around between 45 and 29 bucks, that support zone. So targets of 36 and 45 if we're bullish. Now, if we're bearish, I do have that $29 line, as I did mention, but we also have $18, right? And this is on the weekly chart. So if I were to switch over here to the monthly chart, you guys exactly would know that it's also monthly consolidation between that $45 and $29 line. And we have barely any support, if not, if we do to drop that $29 line, right? If we drop 29 bucks, we have nothing but green candles. And the area where we consolidate from, what is that $18 bounce zone, right? So if we do lose 29, guys, bears would luck out and get that $18 target. So keep your eyes on that $29 line. Bullish 36 and 45. 36 is the monthly highs. 45 is the area at the very top of the channel. Bearish below 29. $18 is my target to the downside. As you guys know, no support was built on the way up. So it's going to be a quick fall once that $29 line breaks. So keep your eyes on Shopify as one of the key names to look for this week. Next name that is important, Adobe. Adobe had a terrible week, guys. You know why? Because they did have earnings, and it's just they beat on earnings. Unfortunately, they missed analyst guidance, which led to a 25% sell-off, and it was terrible, right? So we broke all sorts of support, and we are at the critical area of 289, which is what I'm looking at going into this week. If I were to switch here to the daily time frame, you guys can clearly see we were trading around 274 bucks, and now we have this big gap dropping down to that $300 support line, and we are in dangers of heading lower, right? So if I were to switch here to the weekly chart, you guys know that this area right here at 255 is that pandemic low, right? It's that drop that we got the bounce, and we are at that critical point right now. If we do have an awful week, look for Adobe to break that $289 line for a push down to 255, hitting that pre-pandemic low, right? And I am looking for a bounce, right? I'm looking for a bounce on two areas. We can get a bounce at 289, where we saw a little tiny one right here. However, this is a bearish candle on the weekly, closing towards the bottom. And I'm looking for that bounce at 255. If 289 can't hold, guys, I'm looking for shorting opportunities, and students will be apprised of this. If you are part of the trading group at Wealthy Mentor Trading, that $289 line is that area to short if we cannot hold on towards that 255 target, where we could get a bounce similar to what we have here, or we could get a bounce similar to what we had right here. So keep your eyes on Adobe, guys. So it is oversold, a big sell-off like this, and to me, a lot of it was over-exaggerated. A lot of these names that I'm speaking about today, they are at almost a bottom where a lot of them can really bounce and move really quickly as long as the market conditions allow it to. Right now, the S&P 500 is bearish, so it's putting a stranglehold on names like these. So your biggest clue right now is to look at the S&P 500 and hope that we get back above 3,900 for names like Shopify, Adobe, and Nvidia to move higher. So that's my views on Adobe. One last name that's important, and it's a big one, it's Google. And this one has flew under the radar. And Google for me is at a point where we are at 100 support. I was looking at that 105 line. As you guys know, we do have multiple weekly candles. We've bounced off 105, as it is an area where it is a trend line, right? So here we had a consolidation area from 105 to 100. We are testing that area once again. So I am looking for a bounce play at that $100 line. If bulls can step in, similar to what they've been doing right here, I'm looking at targets of 105 and 108 for this week to the bullish side. Now, it's not that much, I know, but you guys got to understand that the market conditions aren't the greatest. So bullish trades like this, to me, they're quick ins and outs, right? They're quick scalps. You don't want to get into a trade like this and think to yourself, oh, it's at the bottom and it's going to run forever. No, it doesn't work that way. You got to look at the market conditions. So to me, since we're bearish, I'm definitely looking at 100 and below as well. If we break 100, we do have that critical target of 92.5. where it's just above this consolidation area and was a big push candle right here, pretty much leading us from 92 bucks all the way to 105. I'm looking for something similar, guys. Looking for a bounce at 100. If I don't get that, I'm looking for shorting opportunities. And if we do hit 92, I'm looking for long opportunities, right? So keep your eyes on Google at that $100 line for a bounce to 105, 108 on the bullish targets, and keep your eyes at $100 for bearish targets towards 92 bucks. As you guys know, it is psychological support at $100. So those are four blue chip stocks ready for a bounce higher this week. Google, as I mentioned, Adobe on the earnings bomb, Shopify planning to slash workers. I'm looking for a push to this month's high at 36 bucks. I'm also looking at Nvidia where I did purchase shares. I'm looking for that event to catapult us all the way up to that 140, 147, and 154 area where I plan to take profits at. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining this week's stream. Be sure to give a thumbs up and comment in the comment section if you are interested in any names that you want reviewed going into next week. And if you're interested, obviously, in Wealthy Mentor Trading on Discord, the link is in the description. Hit me up there, guys. See you guys next week.